Hi, my name's Dave, amateur radio call sign AB7E. I've done a few YouTube videos lately on VHF UHF antennas that needed a common mode choke to choke off the currents on the shield of the coax. There's a couple of ways of doing, actually about 3 ways of doing common mode chokes. One is to try to wind the cable into a coil to make some inductance. I find that to be a very crummy way to do it. You don't really know what you're getting, especially at UHF. And of course, it's not very practical for larger coax like this. This happens to be some LMR 400. Another way to do it is with a coaxial shield balun. And I've used that before, where you take advantage of the quarter wavelength properties of a transmission line. You put some conductive material, usually shielded braid, actually around the entire coax, and you short it to the internal coax or internal shield a quarter wavelength away from wherever your feed point is going to be. That transformation takes the short from the connection here, transforms it to a very high impedance up here, which tends to choke off the common mode currents. The disadvantage of that is that it's very frequency dependent. So a little more broadband way is to use ferrite cores over the coax itself. And I've used these before in a couple of the videos. They work real good, but they're a little bit large, kind of clunky, and apparently not as easy to obtain as they were when I got mine. They measure great. Impedance is roughly 175 ohms at 145 megahertz. And by the way, most of that is resistive loss. It's not inductive. At these frequencies, 145 megahertz, type 43 ferrite is actually fairly lossy. And that's actually what you want. You want to absorb the common mode current, the field energy from the common mode currents. It's a myth that all you want is inductance for choke. So I did some searching and I found these cores. They're readily available. I'll show the part number here in the video and also in the text accompanying the video. They are also type 43. They're just smaller, and they measured at around 85 ohms at 145 megahertz. So you need a few more of them than you would with these, but they are a little more convenient to get. Now, they don't fit over the coax here. And at first I thought, oh, that's kind of a disappointing factor. But if you strip off the casing of the coax, it will now fit over there. And you could just slide these on like this, because the conductivity, electrical conductivity of type 43 ferrite is very high. It's something like 10 to the 6th ohm centimeter. But for purposes of waterproofing, the last time I used one of these, I actually taped it up with some vinyl electrical tape. Just went like this. And as I say, this isn't really for insulation. This is for keeping water out of the braid of the coax. And you for certain don't want water going down the coax along the braid. That just creates some loss. So we'll trim this off here. And now the cores still fit over there. And conveniently enough, the extra thickness of the jacket keeps these from sliding down. So you can, and the antennas that I've done were, the coax was vertical, so you just slide 6 or 7 of these on here and you'll get roughly the same impedance that I had with, I think I used 4 of these. I was looking to get something over 500 ohms, and 6 times 75, 80 ohms for these gets you up pretty close to 500 ohms. So I'll put the part number for these. The ones I found on eBay came in a batch of 25, which means you could actually get four antennas out of it if you were looking for 500 ohms. And they ran about, I think, about $1.20 a piece in that 25 unit batch. So I just wanted to make this for the people that might have been having trouble finding a source for these larger ferrites. These are readily available and will do the job. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.